Hello. What's going on, everyone? It's KIM in the SAV. Kim out of Savannah, Georgia. And guys, I have been going back and forth about whether or not I should do this video for some time. And I decided, especially after something that I saw in one of my groups recently, that I absolutely have to do this video. And it's, okay. I am live. Okay. So this is not just for, my females. I said especially female entrepreneurs, but it's really for everyone. And I'm not even gonna, it's more so geared toward entrepreneurs, and you will understand why shortly. But really, it's really for everybody. And guys, if you're watching on YouTube, it originally begins a Facebook Live. Just because of the title, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interaction. So be patient with me while I shout out people like Julie Mead, Dennis Johnson, and others that will be coming on, like Felicia Alexander. What's going on? And if you're watching live, I want you to put where you are watching from down below. If you're a replay viewer, put replay, and then where you're watching from down below. So let's go, because I'm sure y'all are going to have a lot to say about this. And by the way, my views, since this is my Facebook page, my YouTube channel, they are my views. They are not in any way, shape, or form meant to be imposed upon you. Like, this is what you should do. Live your life, baby. Do what you do. But I'm simply saying from a perspective of what I do and why, okay? So if you disagree with me, awesome. Go to your Facebook page or your YouTube channel and share your views, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. As you all know, every single thing that I do is inspired by something that I see, hear about, or am involved in. So I'm a part of different Facebook groups. I don't interact in all of them all the time the same way. But this one group that I was in, it's not just for female entrepreneurs, but basically, like, there's this woman, she has a hair salon, and she has a lot of kids, okay? And she's doing a doggone thing, successful in Atlanta, and, her business has been great. She's done wonderful things for herself and her kids. Well, all of a sudden, she gets the man that she has been praying for or whatever. Or so she thinks. And so she's now in this new relationship, and she was basically saying to the group, hey, I'm really happy with this guy, but he thinks I work too much. My business is starting to go back. And she was wondering what to do with regards to, should she pull back from her business because this is finally the relationship that she's always wanted, or should she, keep on the path that she's been on and basically tell her man, hey, you gotta hold up. And so, of course, everybody had different views. If you have money but you don't have love, then you're still going to be miserable. Other people are like, hold up, he just came into the picture. Don't let him mess you up, especially because you have all these mouths to feed. Now, I'm going to tell you guys this. I don't comment on things like that because that's someone else's life. However, for me personally, and I say this because all of my team is comprised of women. The majority of people in my profession are women. However, the majority of leaders, people that you see on stage, are men. So this is a very controversial topic for me. And I titled it, I Sell Sex Pills Even Though I'm Abstinent. And then that was, again, inspired by one of my clients, because I provide one of our most popular products to a lot of men, and have been for years. I don't talk about that as much as I talk about the other stuff, but I do. And so one person who was new to me, he asked, so what's your testimony? And those who really know me know that even though I do Facebook Lives, and y'all have seen me all kinds of ways, with makeup, without makeup, do-rag, hair down, whatever, I'm still pretty much a private person. So I told him, hey, I don't share what I do. I don't share my testimony regarding this product. I share other people's testimony regarding that product. And I don't, and I would not. That's just how I've always been. But for those, since he was wondering, I was like, I don't even do that. Since my divorce, I've been completely abstinent. That's the furthest thing from my mind. And I know some people say the best way to get over a man is to get under another one. Okay, if that's how you feel about it, that's fine. But for me, that just never would work. That's never been my thing. Every single time I've ended a relationship, or I've gotten out of a relationship, regardless of who ended it, I've always needed to process things. And I always come back to a place of finding myself to see who am I now after this experience. So I don't think that you have to experience something in order to sell it. If so, then no one will sell dog food, right? Because the person who's selling dog food, he's not out there eating it. She's not out there eating it. A lot of people sell things that they don't personally use. As long as they have a testimony from someone that it's working for, that should be good enough. So that's the first thing. But going back to the young lady in Atlanta who has done great things for her business and provided for her kids on her own for many, many years until this new guy comes into the picture and wants her to pull back. There were a lot of different views about it. Now, personally, I have a lot of women on my team. Some of them are married. Most of them, I think, are not. Well, it might be a 50-50 split now. Hey, Ava, Matt, what's going on? I haven't shouted out people in quite some time. Teresa Patterson, what's going on? Alicia Brown was on. Angela Jackson, Damian Jordan, really? Alex Strew, and many others. Again, if you're watching live, put where you're watching from. And if you're a replay viewer, hit replay and put replay and where you're watching from as well. So, this is a topic that comes up all of the time with my team members because they're mostly women. So here's the thing that I want women entrepreneurs to understand. As a woman, it's not like we always say that men and women are equal and all this other stuff, but let's be honest and let's be real. I have so many men mentors who say, you know, I went out first thing in the day when the sun came up, and I didn't come back till the sun went down, and I just grind. I was just grinding. There are very few women who say that. You know why? Because oftentimes while the men are out there grinding and doing whatever it is they have to do, they have children. But guess who's watching their children? Either their wife or their children's mother, if they're not married. I know so many guys who in their early 20s made a lot of money. Do you know why they were able to just grind it out day after day, night after night? The reason why they were able to do it is because they only had themselves to think about. They didn't have to do homework. They didn't have to fix dinner. They didn't have to discipline. They didn't have to make sure children were in the shower. They didn't have to do any of those things. There was a woman somewhere doing those things for them. And I'm not saying every single situation, so let's just be real here, okay? But there was a woman somewhere who was taking care of the children so they could go do what they needed to do. Now, in my profession, we are mostly women. This is the number one thing that the people on my team have an issue with. Time management. How do I balance trying to build this business while trying to raise all of these kids? And if they're married, that throws a whole nother loop, a whole nother situation in there, because if the husband is not on board with the business, now the husband has to deal with the fact that their wife is around some pretty powerful men who have money, who have nice luxury things, and it becomes like a power dynamic between the husband and the leader oftentimes. So it can get to be a very, very sticky situation. And so all of this has brought me to, first of all, just like I said, the way I am programmed personally, y'all. I've been like this all my life. Like my team knows I just have some funny little quirks. I don't like certain things on people. I think a lot of people are nasty. I don't like feet. I don't like mouths. A lot of people have like there are some people that they can go out there and do their thing and that's them. But just even the thought sometimes of kissing people, like I see some people mouths and I'm just like, how are y'all having one night stands when I could barely stand to even look in that person's mouth? Not me being judgmental, but I'm just saying people got a lot of stuff going on their body. So to me, it's always been my thing. Even Matt said, watching from the Shire was South Suburbs. Hey, Travis Thornton. To me, it's always been my thing that I've just kind of been grossed out by the majority of people. And the idea of swapping bodily fluids. Now, some people might say, okay, that's pretty juvenile, but it's all in your framework and how you think about things. To me, that's just always been my thing. So that definitely helps me to stay focused. But aside from that, when I started on the entrepreneurship path, I told you guys I started human behavior, consumer psychology, and people. And one of the things that I absolutely recently in the last few months have become obsessed with is the art of sexual transmutation. Now, Wesley, $1 million virgin, in case you don't know who he is, he has a course and he devoted a whole module to sexual transmutation. Some of you may be familiar with this because sometimes they say athletes, like before they have a game, the coach might tell them don't have sex or anything like that. But I really, especially if you're in entrepreneurship, Ava Map said, right, it's kind of nasty out here. Yeah, Ava, I'm down here in the South, and I mean, anything goes. Like, I just see some things, and I'm just like, wow. Yeah, don't get me off on a tangent. But the art of sexual transmutation, basically, my interpretation, my definition of it is when you can take, like, all of your sexual prowess, your sexual energy, and transmute or translate that into like compensation, a monetary reward, power, influence, things of that nature. Big people, like every time this topic of sexual transmutation comes up, do you know the names that often follow? It's names like Bill Clinton, and it's not because he was involved in that scandal, but it's because even long before that, there were a lot of people that were just innately drawn to him. Okay, men and women alike. It's that whole idea of you're the guy that other men want to be, and the guy that women want to be with. It's that whole idea. Also, Barack Obama, right? His name comes up a lot when you discuss the topic of sexual transmutation. So it is a discipline, okay? Just like fasting, it is a discipline. It requires, oh my gosh, it requires so much will. And I don't want anybody to think by how I started this talk that I have anything against men. I really don't. I love men. And I have a lot of really great guy friends, And I think that also does go to play a part in how I think about this too, because my guy friends, like, they keep me in the loop about, guys know what women want. Okay. And ladies, it's especially like, I'm gonna be honest with you, we are, as much as people try to make us seem complex, we are pretty simple. Like, guys know, okay, I'm gonna tell y'all, I want to share this with y'all because I queued up something. So I was listening to this, something on YouTube, and this guy, Dr. Boyce Watkins, I don't know a lot about him. So don't be like, oh, I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy or whatever. I just came across this one video and it had me spellbound. Okay. He was talking about how this black millionaire had conned like a woman out of $80,000 and apparently a lot of women out of a lot of money. And he was talking about how the man was able to scam these women, right? And so in that conversation, he was talking about also, he said, I remember in college, my guy friends and I, we had this one friend, and he said he was this really heavyset guy, not really attractive, not athletic, like he really didn't have a lot going on for himself, but he was pulling all the girls. And he said one day everybody asked him, yo man, how do you do that? Okay, so Janelle said he's interesting but racist. Okay, yeah. Well, I don't know. So just because I throw the name out there, I don't want anybody to think that I'm endorsing anything. Because I don't know. I don't even know how I stumbled. It was the deep dark hole of YouTube, Janelle. Hey, Jesus Martinez and Maria Angelica Torres Carrillo. Your name always. I love it. Okay, somebody else said he's awesome, right? So tomato. Okay. I shouldn't have said his name. Hey, Shannon Nicole. So here's the whole deal, though. I found this very interesting. He and his male friends asked this other guy, hey, dude, how are you able to pull all these women? And the guy said, man, it's simple. All you have to do is tell a trick what she wants to hear. Okay? Now, you might not like it. But the bottom line is, it's the truth. People, and this is what a lot of great people who are great at doing what they do, whether you like it or not, this is how a lot of people operate. Great car salesmen, great whatever. People in any leadership position, they got there because they understand that they need to tell their audience what they want to hear. So it's no different with a scam artist or with a man or even a woman. Well, we're going to get different. Men and women are very different. That's a whole nother thing, guys. You got to understand the differences between men and women. But he told them that, and it's really the truth. Women, I want you to understand that men know exactly, and my male, like I said, my male friends, we talk. But men know exactly what you want to hear. It's so funny to me, some of the things that come in my inbox, because I'm like, oh my gosh, you're a freaking idiot. Like, you just have no clue. People see me, they see me post with myself and my son, so they know there's not a guy in the picture. And I actually have men come in my inbox saying, you know, me and you could be a power couple, and I could be a male figure to your son. Excuse me, bruh. See, every single mother is not looking for a male figure for her son, because guess what? My son has a male figure. It's his father. Regardless of whether things worked out between us or not, our divorce was with us. It didn't involve him. My ex-husband didn't divorce our son. So he's a great dad to him. He's still very much active in his life. He's the co-parenting thing. We're learning. We're living. We making it do what it do. The divorce is still fresh. So it's not necessarily easy, but don't think I'm out here crying a river looking for this father figure for my son. So excuse you, brother, but you're out of line here. Just because you don't see me posting a man doesn't mean I'm looking to fill a void. And it's not, like I said, I'm not antagonistic toward men. I have great relationships with men who know their place, who know their role in my life. Because what I'm looking for right now is not a father figure for my son. Now, likewise, I have this whole power couple thing that really cracks me up. I lied to y'all not. There was a guy who said, you know, I really think you're smart and this, that, and the other, and I need somebody like you in my life. We could be a power couple. Do y'all know this guy lived with his brother, his big brother, like a grown man who lived with his big brother. Where's the power in that? Are you serious? Where's the power? There is no power in that. But he's telling, believe it or not, there's somebody who would not even take that into account. They'd be like, well, at least he trying. He got some dreams. He got some this. At a certain age in your life, you need to have certain stuff, period. Not dreams of having stuff, but certain stuff. Or you need to be working feverishly toward getting that stuff if you don't. Because let's face it, things do happen. Setbacks happen. Trials, tribulations. I get all that. But what I'm saying is that in your season of repairing stuff and your season of collecting and gathering and contemplation, you should not be involving other people and throwing out phrases like power couple. Women, understand this. These men know exactly what you want to hear. They know, especially if you're I'm 40. You're in my age range, chances are you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, 7, 8 kids, right? You got stretch marks. Your body is not what it used to be in the 20s. It is nothing for a man to come into your life and say things like, girl, you're beautiful. He just didn't know what he was losing, but you're a queen. And you just, man, let me bear the weight of some of this load for you. It is nothing for a guy to say that to you. And if you don't believe me, I want you to hear this clip, guys. And I'm going to go and look at the comments because y'all writing paragraphs, so y'all feeling me. Janelle said, let them know. Kim, we already had a couple about this. I bet he does the same. Maria said, we know what we really want to hear, and it's our choice to fall for it or not. Absolutely. And you got to understand that. Right. It's slim pickings out here. I'm grateful. I have an incredible guy, but baby, please, it's jacked up out here. And I don't even know if it's slim pickings. I just think as you get older, you should get wiser. I know I know of a lot of great guys, actually. They're not a fit for me, but I know of a lot of great guys, and so, and I'm really, Ava, I'm really big on what you speak, so I'm not going to say that it's that, because don't let the pickings be too slim, because when I'm ready, I want to have a plethora of options. But I want y'all to hear this, okay? I want y'all to hear this, okay?
About the brain and what happens when you're in love, and I was like, why do people act like crackheads when their relationship ends? Why do they just go crazy, like, I can't eat, I can't sleep, I'm dying, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's because partly, for many reasons, there are these chemicals, I remember. One was called phenylethylamine, one was called oxytocin. And oxytocin is a chemical that makes you feel bonded to other people. Women have stronger oxytocin receptors than men, based on what I've read. Women generate oxytocin when they even have conversations with each other. That's why a lot of women like to talk. Or that's why if they have a conversation with 3 women sitting around drinking wine and they talk for 3-4 hours, they walk away very close, because there's something about communicating that helps release the oxytocin, and they feel more connected. Men have oxytocin too, but the problem is that we also have testosterone, which is a neutralizer of oxytocin. That's why a lot of times the men who are the alphas, the ones that you're most attracted to, the big athletes, the big strong guys, the aggressive men, that's why they're also the ones that are most likely to cheat. because they don't feel as much of the bond. They're not bonded as much. Or if you ever wonder why a man can have a baby and know about that baby, but let's say he's never seen the baby, and let's say he can just walk away and not care, and people are like, how can you not care? That's your child. Well, because the oxytocin hasn't formed in terms of him feeling a connection to the child. A man has to bond with a child. So ladies, like if you have a baby with a man, which I guess it's the only way to have a baby, let him really spend time with the baby, hold the baby, keep the baby, be with the baby as much as possible so he can form that bond. Because if the man doesn't form the bond, then the bond won't exist. Whereas mothers form the bond the minute that they're pregnant. Like when they're pregnant, the oxytocin starts flowing because you got this little life inside your body. And so mothers will love that baby, but by the time the baby comes out of the body, when the baby comes out, she don't even know that they never met him. The baby could be an asshole, right? But it don't matter. That's my baby. I love my baby. And it's not just because, because the woman has this, these amazing ethical standards and she's just a wonderful person. It's because it's natural. It's very natural to form that bond. So when I learned about oxytocin and things like that, one thing that stood out to me, and this is something I'm gonna share with you guys, you probably won't hear this from anybody else. I see a lot of relationship expert type people that are talking about different things, and I'm not going to pretend to be a relationship expert, but I'm 47 and I've lived life a little bit and I've made some choices, good and bad, and I think I can share something with you that might help you. The thing that stood out to me was this. When a woman has sex with a man, when the average woman has sex with a man, and the sex is good, the woman's oxytocin levels spike through the roof. The man feels it too. The man creates a little bit of a bond as well, but part of it's neutralized by the testosterone, and also it's not as high as the woman. If the woman has good sex with a man, and she has an orgasm, her oxytocin levels go crazy. Tell me this, yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Have you ever seen a woman go and have sex with a man, and the next thing you know, she can't explain why she can't stop talking about him, why she thinks he's the greatest thing in the world, why she wants to wash his dirty drawers, why he suddenly has the keys to her car, why she gives him the keys to the apartment, why she got letting this crazy man she don't even know watch her kids. Like, have you ever seen a woman do something like that? Not that men don't do dumb shit either. Men do a lot of dumb shit. So don't think women do not have a monopoly on stupidity. Men are stupid too. We are all stupid. Voice has been stupid over love. I mean, some good loving from a beautiful woman. I'm going to be the first to admit that I've done some dumb shit over that. Seriously. Right? Well.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it right there. But what's so I got the whole amen choir going, right? So like I said, I don't routinely listen to him, but this video captivated me. And the whole thing with oxytocin, I've been studying that because even as a marketer, there are certain drugs that I can stimulate in you just through a Facebook Live, and you don't even know it. So you got to understand this stuff, guys. That's why I said take the time to study men, women, the differences between men and women. But so many people are so caught up in a relationship, they don't have time to process what is really going on here. What is the pattern that I'm repeating? Is this too soon? And especially for women, like you can't, as much as yes, baby.
Sorry for interrupting you. But
Yeah.
can I get like a little snack?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay. So you see, most guys don't have to deal with it. I know so many men who, and I don't mean deal with it like it's a bother, but I know so many men who are like, when I was building my business, I went home and I let the whole team know, listen, Daddy's working on building us an empire, and I closed the door and I just went to work. And I was, what he said, smiling and dialing. I was smiling and dialing and all this other stuff. Try to do that. Let me go close the door and smile and dial right now. Okay? I need you to hush, baby. It's just not going to happen that way. So here is my thing, and I'm going to hit on so many points, but you got to understand this stuff, and you got to know this stuff. Excuse me, because the thing that's bothering me is that I see more men in my profession get to the stage and say, I just want to thank my wife. I just want to thank my girlfriend. I just want to thank my children's mother for standing by me. Thank you, baby. Let's give it up for my wife, y'all. And they're like, woo, woo, woo. And the women, the few women that I see to the stage, do you know how many of them get to the stage and say, and I built this whole business all while going through a divorce? So you got to understand that as a woman, especially if you are as a woman, period, I think you should really learn about the differences between men and women, because I do see way too many women trying to make their men function in a role and in a capacity that he'll never be able to function as. He's never going to be, a manly man and your best girlfriend. Like, don't try to get him to be that. Okay? He wasn't designed to be that. But I'm not I'm not saying that men can just go out here and rah, sow the royal oats, but you do have to understand that our biological makeup makes us different. And those differences are something that you should take into account when you're getting involved, and especially if you are building a business and you are a female, you have so much more riding on you than your male counterpart does. A man who's building a business, there are people out here doing what they do, and they know that those children are going to be taken care of by that woman. And there's single men out there, I get it. But as a whole, a lot of men are building their businesses, and the woman is taking care of the kids. If you are a woman and you are building a business and you have the kids, your responsibility is not just to you, it's to all those mouths that you have to feed too. So when I say right now, I am in a phase of focus, and it's just not even funny that I cannot even entertain a gentleman caller. Not in the least. Do I miss it? Maybe sometimes. But again, you have to elevate yourself to a certain point where your carnal desires, and I heard a guy say this because this was a topic on the Michael Baisden show. And I heard, men will say, it's easy for women to say because they're not a man, and I'm a man, I'm a giver, and women are receivers. So they can shut it down, but I'm a man. And the funniest thing, I think I'm cracking myself up at my own impersonation. But on the Michael Baisden show, he opened up this topic of abstinence and celibacy. People use the terms interchangeably, whatever. Basically, you not interacting with a counterpart in that way, okay? And a lot of women called in and said, yeah, I've been doing it for years and da-da-da-da. But there was a guy who called in and, oh my gosh, I wish I had him from the beginning, but I did not. And I recorded this because I know a lot of women who are actually abstaining right now. A lot of women. I know a few men, but I know a lot of women who are actually abstaining right now. And so I recorded this to share with them and us to have dialogue and a conversation about this. But there was this brother. Oh, baby. I caught the tail end. I'm going to share it with y'all, okay? So that y'all understand what is required and why sexual transmutation is so important, okay? So I'm going to share this with y'all. Remember, I didn't catch the beginning, but I'm going to share what I got, okay? And we're going to end on this note. Hold on. Here we go.
My ambition, my drive, my focus, my desires for not just having things, but my desires for goodwill. It's hard to explain and just, it's one of those fifth dimension type of things. I can't just explain it in the moment.
So you do, okay, I got you, Marco. You do enjoy it, though, right? You did enjoy it when you...
and I miss it, of course.
Right.
I enjoy it, I miss it, I long for it.
Right.
But the thing is, in that longing, I'm finding a greater connection with myself.
So how are you getting closer to yourself? Explain this to me, because I'm not going to let you just say it without it making me understand, because I'm trying, brother, to understand why we go without as men. How do you get closer to yourself by not being intimate with somebody you might really care about?
Okay, the thing is, we have to understand that sex is just a carnal desire. Until we can control that base instinct, we're nothing more than biological creatures. So if we want to truly think of ourselves as an elevated being, we have to learn to control that inherent desire to copulate.
Wow. He said copulate. Nah, he got scientific on it. He did go there. But brother, let me just say this to you, Marco. First of all, to have a man call in on this topic, and I hope I can get more than just you calling in, I'm inspired. I can't do it, Marco, but I'm inspired by you calling in talking.
Okay, so I don't know who Marco is, but hey, Marco Polo. Let me stop. But I was like, yes, Marco, speak on it. It requires definitely a discipline. And it's when you can discipline that most basic carnal desire that you now become way more disciplined in other areas. And that's not to say that you don't miss it or you whatever the case may be like that. But it's just to say that as for me, I know I have my priorities in order because I am a woman. And yes, I'm like some people like, Kim, you're so hard. You got a tough exterior and all that other stuff. Yeah, maybe so. That's for many different reasons. But I still am a woman, and I still have the emotions and the hormones of a woman. So I know that my responsibility to myself and to my family is so much greater than just, me alone and that basic desire. So in this phase of focus, I cannot afford to have any distractions. need. And I'm not the type of person, if you are that type of person, awesome. But I'm not the type of person to be involved in an activity like that. And as y'all can tell, the little one's out of the shower now. But I'm not the type of person to be involved in an activity like that. And just, I can't turn off my emotions and stuff like that just off and on. Oh, well, it's just this or it's just that. So that is why, since the divorce, absolutely not. And that's not even in my plan, because I do believe in spiritual ties, and I do believe that, like that whole, it goes even deeper than what I've talked about on the broadcast. But I just really wanted to come on and share with my sisters that are entrepreneurs. Think about your children. You don't need the distractions of somebody going, do you really have to go to that event? Do you really have to get on that call? You don't need somebody who needs attention, because in all fairness, if you're going to get involved and start up another relationship, you deserve to give that person some time if that's what you're going to do. Like, don't say you're in it, but you're not fully in it. You know what I'm saying? It's not fair to the other person. So either you're going to be in it or you're not. And the period for most entrepreneurs, when building a business, it takes a lot of focus, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, most of which you will not have if you are a woman, especially. Like I said, I know a ton of men who say, well, for many reasons, they waited to get into a relationship. If they weren't already married while they were building their business, they waited until they either got to the point where they could say, okay, I'm at a good point now. Now I can bring in someone who's already on my level as well, and we can be a power couple for real. Or, they had their ride or die who was with them since they had nothing, and, that's the case. That they finally put a ring on it, or whatever the case may be. But for the women especially, you do not want to have to make a decision between your business and your boyfriend. That's what you don't want, because it's more critical for you to be focused on your business if you have children involved or anything like that. And let's just say this, and I'm going to put this out there too. Even if you're married, okay? Like, I am so happy that I built my business when I was married, because by the time the divorce came, it was a huge help for me not to have to worry about certain things financially, okay? I can't imagine if I had tried to start building my business after the divorce, because now I'm trying to hurry up and make up a whole nother person's income. It doesn't work like that. A business is not a lottery ticket. That whole thing, if you build it, they will come. Well, if that's the case, then why are there so many businesses that are now shut down after years of being open? It does not work like that. It takes time. It takes focus. It takes energy. It takes education. It takes capital. It takes a lot. Don't let anybody fool you in saying that it does not. It takes a lot. And so I just really wanted to say, we talk a lot about what you should do in building a business and the education of it. But that sexual transmutation part, ooh, baby, do not sleep on it. No pun intended. But watch the energy transfer and the people that you bring into your circle, into your realm, and watch where your focus goes, because you want a laser beam type focus. It needs to be intense, especially if you're doing this for your family. So that's all I got, guys. I hope you enjoy this. Thank you, Ava Mapp, for sharing the broadcast. If you guys know anybody else who can benefit from this, definitely share it to your page. And if you're on YouTube, and I strongly encourage you, like I said, study the art of sexual transmutation. Learn about yourself, learn about your spouse, understand the differences between, I love you too, understand the differences between men and women. And I think if we start doing that, once you understand the game, you'll be able to peep game a lot easier. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, it's real hard for somebody to I'm too much energy to trick. It takes too much time for you to try to, like, you can't whisper sweet nothings in my ear. I ain't in high school. I'm a grown, lusty woman. Okay, all that jibber jabber you spitting, baby. I'm long past that phase of life to where I'm flattered by the sweet nothings you whisper in my ear. Boy, please. Boy, bye. All right, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that big red subscribe button and bang the bell to the right ding dong, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be the first to know. Now I gotta go. Bye.